This is Mike speaking from IELTSAnswers.com. The purpose of this video is to go over task analysis for IELTS essays. The text for this video that I'm making is also available on my website, IELTSAnswers.com, under Writing, IELTS Essays, Task Analysis for IELTS Essays. So if you want to read about it after watching the video, you can go to my website and have a look at it there. The reason why I want to make this video is because when I'm correcting my students' essays, I often notice that they haven't done a good job of this, and so I want to make this video and update my website just to explain how to do this a bit more. This is also the reason why a lot of good writers don't get a high score for task response. We can see that a 7 requires the writer to address all parts of the task, and I'm going to show you a few examples of why this doesn't always occur. Essentially, what I like to do is to categorize essays that occur in the test into 3 types. These are an opinion or argument essay, a both sides an opinion essay, and a 2-question essay. I'm going to be talking a lot about these in the video, and if you want to understand these 3 types of essays in a bit more detail, then you can go to my website, IELTSAnswers.com, Writing, IELTS Essays, different types of IELTS essays, and then I also this page compares the 3, and this gives more information on each of the essays. Okay, so you can get a comparison and then see detailed information on all 3 types of essays. When you go into the test, the task instructions are going to look something like this. It's this key part in here that I'm going to be talking about. This part changes. Outside of this box is always the same. You're always suggested to spend about 40 minutes on the task. Okay, that's because that's 2/3 of your time, and the essay is worth 2/3 of your score. You're always told to give reasons for your answering, include any relevant examples from your own knowledge or experience. You don't have to give examples, by the way. This is always there, so don't go into the tests and read examples and think, gosh, I must give examples in this essay. It's not a requirement, but it is a way to support what you're writing in the essay. The other thing is you're always asked to write 250 words. This doesn't change. And by the way, the examiners do count the number of words you write, and you get penalised under task response if you don't write enough words. Okay, and then the key thing that I want to talk about today is how when we have the task instructions, we have a topic, which is here. Some people believe that the fast pace and stress of modern life is having a negative effect on families. So we have a topic, and then we have a question. In this case, it's to what extent do you agree or disagree? So this is what you have to say about the topic. So the first task that we're looking at is an opinion essay. Okay, so let's have a look at this task in a bit more detail. So we've got, first of all, the topic. Some people believe that the fast pace and stress of modern life is having a negative effect on families. Whenever you see this word "and," that means there's 2 requirements for this topic. We must talk about both fast pace and stress of modern life to get a high score. And if you don't do this, then you're not fulfilling addresses all parts of the task. So you can't get a 7. You can't get a 6 because 6 also says addresses all parts of the task, although some parts may be more fully covered than others. If you don't cover an aspect of the task at all, that means you're down to 5, addresses the task only partially. I've just enlarged that a little bit. So you here addresses the task only partially. And then we want to look at the question. The question says, to what extent do you agree or disagree? Note the word extent. This is incredibly important. Extent means how much. So again, to fulfill task responsive 6, addressing all parts of the task, we should say how much we agree or disagree. So just saying I agree is not enough. Let's say you agree. You could say that you somewhat agree. That means not totally. That means in this essay you'll be talking about why you agree, but also about why you disagree. And then our other option, if you only want to write about why you agree, then just choose I totally agree. Now, I just want to point out that since you've been asked for your opinion, you are allowed to totally agree. There may be people who might disagree. You don't need to talk about these people. You're only asked for your opinion. And the other thing is sometimes people have heard they can't use the word I in essays, that they're not supposed to write in first person. Well, you've been asked for your opinion, so you should give your opinion and use words like I totally agree and not words like it is believed. It is believed suggests other people. You've been asked to what extent you agree, and so you should use language such as this. Okay, that's all I'm going to say about this type of essay. If you wanted to see more, if you wanted to see how to plan this essay, if you wanted to see how or what a model answer might look like, you can go over to here and have a look here. Okay, or just go to task analysis, and I've got hyperlinks there that will take you to those sorts of things. Okay, let's move on now to task analysis for a both sides and opinion essay. So this is a different question. Okay, now let's start with the topic and have a look at that. So topic, some people think that the education system should only focus on preparing students for employment, while others believe it has other important functions. We want to see in the topic that what we should see in the topic are two opinions. Okay, so we've got one here that the education system should only focus on preparing students for unemployment. It's not for unemployment, for employment. Now, what that means is that the education system doesn't have any other purposes, that it should only be about helping young people get jobs and to have successful careers, and that nothing else should be done in school. And then we could have reasons for that, such as if we only focus on employment, then we'll be able to achieve better outcomes through that focus. And other arguments could be that some of the other functions that schools do now can be done elsewhere. For instance, sports classes can be done outside of school, and that school time shouldn't be wasted on that. And then the other side of the argument is that, or the other view, is that the education system has other important functions. So these could be giving young people skills for purposes other than getting jobs. For instance, teaching them how to cook and how to be healthy, and those sorts of things. Okay, so we want to work out what the two sides are. That's really important. And essentially this is it here. Education is for career purposes only, or should it be for other purposes also? And then we can go down to our question, discuss both sides, and then give your own opinion. So essentially we've got three things to do here. We've got to discuss both sides. That's two. So we probably need a paragraph for one side, a paragraph for another. And then we also need to give our own opinion, perhaps another paragraph for our opinion. And it's incredibly important to do all three of these well. If we go back to our grading criteria, I'll just make that a bit bigger. Let's have a look at an 8. Sufficiently addresses all parts of the task, So it's really important to do all parts of the task well. 7 also addresses all parts of the task. So if you don't address all parts of the task well, you may drop down to a 6. So 6 would mean that you've got all three, you've discussed both views, you've given an opinion, but one part is not done particularly well. Often this is the opinion. Often the opinion is just one sentence like, in conclusion, I believe that the education system should only focus on preparing students for their careers. And in order to move up to 7 and beyond for this, you'd want to support your opinion. Say why. What's the reason? It could be something like, because careers are the most important things for people these days due to high unemployment levels. And then again, if you want to see more about this type of essay, go to my website, Writing, IELTS essays, different types of essays, both sides essay. Okay, and then you can see more on this. All I'm showing you is how to analyze the task. If you go there, I'll show you how to plan your task, how to structure it, and how to write the task. The purpose of the video is just task analysis. Okay, let's look at the last type of essay, a 2-question essay. This is easy to identify because there'll be 2 questions. Sometimes it might be written as 1 sentence, but usually they're written like this on the task instructions, and note the 2 question marks. So we've seen this already about opinion essays, do you agree or disagree? But we can't just write about this because we've got another question here. What kind of changes will occur? It's probably better written as what kinds with an S of changes will occur. Okay, and let's analyze this again. So we've got our topic. Some people think that in the future lots of changes will occur that will improve our society. The key thing I want to say about the topic here is the word future. If you only talk about the past, you're going to get a low score for task response. So just talking about cars and computers and how they've made life convenient, that's not going to get you a good score. You've got to talk about the future. And then let's have a look at our first question. So the first question we're asked for our opinion, do you agree or disagree? Now with a 2-question essay, I would urge that you, or suggest that you just totally agree or totally disagree, because if you don't, if you try and cover both sides of why you agree and why you disagree, you're probably going to run out of time. Let's say that we agree. Then we move on to what kinds of changes will occur. This can be quite challenging to think about things in the future. Probably the easiest way is to think about trends or developments that are occurring now and why that's going to have a positive outcome on society. So we could take things like some of the technologies that might help the environment, such as electric cars and alternative renewable forms of energy. We could talk about something like self-driving cars and how that might stimulate the economy and reduce costs of transportation. I would try and steer away from more trivial things such as pizzas getting delivered by drones. That might be a good supporting point for something like advances in transportation, but it wouldn't be a good main idea because that's not really going to have a major effect on society, even though it will be quite cool. And then the other one is stay away from things that are less likely or might never happen, such as maybe time travel or living forever or teleportation throughout outer space. It's better to not do those. They're valid, but only use those sorts of ideas if you have to. And again, if you want to see how to plan this type of essay and how to actually write it, go to my website, Writing, IELTS essays, different types of essays, and then 2-question essays. It's just down there. I'll show you again. There we go. Okay, and then I just want to let you know a couple of other things that I have going on my website. One is that I have a writing correction service. You can access this and information by going to writing correction service. And then the other one, I have books, okay, that I've written. I do charge for them, but they have money back guarantee. They're quite long, like the writing book over 200 words, the speaking book over 200 words, okay. Alright, so I hope you found this video useful. The other thing I would say is you can ask me questions by going to my website. I've got contact details on there, or even more simply, just put a comment underneath this video and I'll answer it. If you write the comment, I'll make sure to answer it. So, I mean, it may be that something didn't quite make sense in the video, or you may have a question that's related to the video. I'd be quite happy to answer any questions that you might have. And remember that you can get the information in this video on my website in written form if that's something that might be useful for you.